Cool. So I'm Adam Hicks. I'm a tech lead at Luno. I have been for just over a year. We work in Golang, and I work in the back-end part of the exchange team. So I'm working on our exchange, making sure markets are up, people are placing orders, and trades are happening, and I'm making sure that all of that's going through successfully and there's no issues, and adding new features to our exchange, like new order types and new markets. So yeah, it's been a really fun journey with Luno. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about the API, which people can use to write programs to interact with their Luno account and therefore the Luno exchange. It's part of the challenge. So some resources. If you're going to get started with the API, the key one to go to is luno.com/developers. This has more detailed information about the kind of concepts and examples I'm going to give here. And these examples are hosted on my GitHub, github.com/AdamHicks, as well as these slides. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on. So I'm starting at very top level. I'm just going to describe what is an API in case people don't know. What can you do on the Luno API, and some guides to getting started and making your first trade or placing your first order. Okay, so what is an API? So when you visit a website, obviously you are presented with images, and those images contain fields and information that you can use your cursor and your keyboard to interact with. And when you press buttons, things happen and they come back as images. Everyone knows how to interact with a website. But what computers see, and what's more useful to them, is having more textual representation of stuff you want to do. So this is an example of a request and response that a computer can use to do the same thing that the human can do in the previous picture. And what the real benefit of that is that a computer obviously doesn't sleep. A computer can react faster than a human, and a computer can process more information faster than any human could, which is really advantageous for trading bots. So if you take something like an example as Facebook, a human can sit and scroll through their pictures and posts on Facebook, but a computer can get through and process hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of posts in seconds. And so, yeah, a lot of people use APIs, and a lot of people use programs to write trading bots. And so we at Luno have provided an API so that people can do the same with our platform and with our exchange. And in order to do that, there's a whole bunch of different methods and features that the Luno API exposes. So you can get market data, you can see what people are bidding and asking for on all of our markets, and as well as sort of live information and people placing orders. And you can get wallet balances and use that money to place orders and stop orders. If you make trades, you can see those in our API, and you can also send and receive crypto to perhaps use Bitcoin from other exchanges on Luno as well, or vice versa. So for instance, if you're writing a bot that just wanted to place all of your wallet balance, you could use these API endpoints to find out your wallet balance, place some orders, and then when you decided that you don't want those orders anymore, stop them and place new ones. And to do that, you need to write programs which can actually process that information and issue those commands into the Luno API. So once you've got your Luno account sorted out, and you're onboarded and you've got your funds ready to go, how do you start writing your first bot? For the first step is to install Go. We have SDKs in other languages such as Python and PHP. So those are also another options. I'm just giving an example of Go here. As I said before, the developers page has more information about everything that's available. So you can install Go from that URL. You can get the Luno Go SDK using that command. And when you go to your Luno account, you can create an API key and secret. And what this API key allows you to do is you give that to your program, and then your program is authorized to do certain things on your account, such as seeing how much money you have, placing orders, and yeah, sending and receiving crypto. And so yeah, once you've got those things set up, you can start to code. I've included some examples here, as I said, they're on GitHub as well. So this is some basic code that shows you how to get your balances from Luno. This thing up here, the set auth. Once you've got your API key, you'll paste that in here, and that will enable this to start working. And basically, this is just going to get all of your balances for all of wallets you have at Luno. So I ran this today, and it's just staging amounts, so not real. But this is it printing out. I know how much money you have in all these different wallets. This is what you could use to place orders. And you can do that as many times as you want and get specific information. Okay, next one. So now you've got some money, you want to place an order. This is an example of how to configure it to send a post-limit order request. These parameters mean different things. So this is telling it which market you want to place the order in. This is saying we want to actually sell Bitcoin. This is saying we want to sell it at the price of £20,000, which is quite high for today's standard, but who knows? This is how much Bitcoin you want to sell. And this is saying that it won't trade immediately when you put it into the market. You want it to sit there, and you don't want to pay fees, which you pay higher fees if you trade immediately, basically. And finally, as a final example, this isn't placing an order, this is stopping an order. So, from that previous example, this is just printing out so that the person running the program can see what this value is, but this value would then be used in other commands, such as this one, where you'd place that order ID into this parameter here, and then issuing this stop order command to Luno would then stop that order and it wouldn't be able to trade anymore. And you go through that cycle, stopping and placing orders, trying to beat the market or trying to gain an edge on other exchanges to make some money. So yeah, in summary, our Luno API enables you to write programs to do any sort of trading in crypto and sending and receiving crypto amounts that you can imagine. And one of the caveats of that is also be careful with your programs, because trades can't be reversed and orders are permanent. So if you've got a bug in your program, please make sure that you debug it thoroughly so that you don't lose money. And that's very basically how to get started. And that's all I've got. Thanks.
Awesome. Shall we fire through some of the questions? And I'll try and answer the ones that are that need to be answered as well. So first question from Sergey is, I believe there's no demo account for Luno Exchange. What is the best way to simulate the market environment, particularly how to simulate the order book from Luno? I mean, I can answer something first and then you guys can add. So you should all have received, or if you haven't received yet, should just send me your email so you do get to receive a £10 free kind of bit of money to play with. This is so that you can make some test trades and to start kind of testing stuff without having to put your own capital on the line. So I realize this isn't quite a demo account, but it should at least do some of what you need to do before the official trading period starts on Monday. So again, if you haven't yet got that £10 yet, it is £10 of BTC. It's a code you need to redeem, so you need to send me the email address associated with your account, and I will send that through. Sam, is there anything you want to add there?
No, that's exactly it. I think even better than having a demo account is having some real money that you can test it out with. So feel free to do that before Monday.
Awesome. Next question, another from Sergey. It says, can you share price and volume history data sets for Luno Exchange? I guess a better question is, where can you get price and volume history data sets for Luno? Might be one more for Adam.
Yeah, sounds like it. So our API does expose a certain amount of historical price data. It will show the trade history for the last 24 hours for Luno, but I don't actually know. So we do use an API called Bitcoin Average, which provides historical data, and I think there might be free alternatives as well.
Yeah, and I should add that I think I posted something on the Discord about where you can find some free Bitcoin data. I think minute by minute, going back for a number of months. That might be useful if you want to do high frequency stuff. Awesome. Next one I can answer. So, Claire, can you clarify about the 5K prizes? So, I assume this is in relation to the kind of top prizes that we offer as organizers. This is actually available to everyone in the whole hackathon, but there's no reason why it's not open to the Luno participants. If we think you've built a really good bot, it's very sophisticated, it's smartly done, you will be eligible for the top prizes. And I'd like to add, it might be the case that you don't win the Luno top prize for best trading performance, but you do win one of our prizes. Just because, to be honest, guys, you've got 6 weeks to trade, and therefore there's going to be a huge amount of luck involved. And you could perform you could build a fantastic algo. And just in 6 weeks, it's just too short a time span for it to perform. So if we think you've done something really special, maybe use some machine learning techniques or something, then you could still win a prize from us, even if you haven't been the best performing. Next question from Parley. Can you withdraw orders if they're not filled? I guess one for Adam.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what we call stopping an order, I think, if I understand correctly. Let's give this example here. So this is taking in a current order that's in the order book, and this will stop it, effectively cancelling the rest of the order.
Awesome. Next question I can answer. What if you lose 90% of the $100, or it's £100 first and foremost, and how do you return the £10? So the first thing is that it doesn't matter if you lose it all. We encourage you to I mean, it's there for you to use. Don't steal it, but it's there for you to trade. So if you lose it, and if you're the worst trader in history, I don't know how you would end up losing all of it. But if you were the worst trader in history, no worries. You don't need to return the $10 or the starter 10. What we'll just do is we'll do some bit of spreadsheet stuff to make sure that we know that if you have made some test trades this week, that you aren't ahead or behind of everyone else from Monday. So we will just take your starting balance, whatever it is. It'll be something around it'll be 2 or 3%, I imagine, what everyone else is, give or take. So we'll write that down and use that as your starting point when we calculate your trading performance. Awesome. Again, I can't answer this one. So the next one, this is for, I guess, Adam and probably more Sam. Why is it not possible to use Luno from Ukraine? I've never had this problem with other exchanges. Do you plan to make this possible? So yeah, whoever, maybe start with Sam.
Yeah, good question. I'm actually half Russian. I'd love if we operated more in Eastern Europe. This is all just about regulation. So we've chosen where to operate based on local regulation, our relationships there. So unfortunately in Ukraine, we haven't opened up yet, but at some point, I'm hopeful we will.
Yeah, and if I may add, if you are based in Ukraine and you're trying to take part in Hackathon, the one solution might be to find a teammate who is based in an eligible territory, and we can probably help you to that end, so that you don't get to miss out on the hackathon. So Andre, drop me an email and we'll sort that out. Awesome. So Ryan says, is there any difference in Luno as a decentralized trading platform and a more traditional trading platform? I guess Luno isn't decentralized, but I'll let Sam answer that one. So is there any difference in Luno and more traditional trading platforms?
Yeah, it depends really what you mean by more traditional trading platforms. But no, I mean, we're not decentralized in the pure sense of the word in comparison probably to some of the other challenge partners. But cryptocurrency, of course, versus more traditional trading is, you could say, decentralized. So I think just we only focus on cryptocurrency. We don't offer any of the more traditional assets. So in that sense, you probably could say that's the main difference. But in terms of how we operate, we do listen to local regulation. So to some extent, of course, we are centralized, definitely in comparison to much of what we see in the blockchain industry.
Awesome. Vijay says, question on the fee info function. What is the maker and taker fee? And is also, is the fee deducted on the exchange token value?
Yeah, so on the fees, we will share all that. It really depends on your volume, and we calculate volume based on over a 30-day period, a rolling 30-day period. So maker fees, as far as I'm aware, there are no maker fees, but there are taker fees. But you should have a look. This is like really visible on our website, and we'll share it as well afterwards. So, but really, if your bot is really active, then you probably will fall into the highest fee bracket, or lowest fee bracket, but the highest tier, meaning that the fees will be negligible, particularly if you're placing maker orders. The second part of that question, Anthony, if you could remind me.
Is the fee deducted on the exchange token value? Don't really know what that means, but if you can make head or tail of that.
I guess.
So basically, I see what it means. Do you pay the fee? Does the fee come separately out your account, or is it taken out of the trade itself you've made?
If I understood that correctly, well, it would come out of the trade. So you have your £100, you make a trade, and the fee will come out of that. If I understand correctly, but the best thing to do, probably to answer that question, because I'm not totally sure what you mean by that, is to use the £10 to a trade, and you'll see exactly how the fee comes out. But yeah, maybe follow up with that. Whoever asked that question, feel free to reach out directly if you need some clarity.
Yeah, awesome. So a few more. So Hugo asks, can you talk a bit about the WebSocket API? I guess one for Adam.
Yeah, sure. I didn't include anything on the WebSocket API here. That is available through the Go SDK, and it allows you to stream market data without having to make requests. So you can create a connection to that WebSocket and authenticate with it, all through the SDK. And then you'll get updated order book information. So whenever anybody places an order on the exchange, you'll get a little message, and your application can then respond to that however you see fit. I hope that answers the question. There is more information on that, both on the SDK GitHub and also the API documentation.
Awesome. Dan asks, do you recommend test-driven develop for the hackathon in light of potential cost of bugs? Yeah, basically, I mean, would you recommend a test-driven approach? I think, yeah, the same one seems obvious. But if I can provide a little bit of insight here, I would suggest that given the short time span, you should live trade and not worry about testing for now. Clearly, testing is beneficial, but and especially for making sure bugs don't screw you over. But I would probably have some hybrid of live trading and doing some testing at the same time. Just start with very small trades to make sure you're not doing anything too egregious. Anything you want to add on that, Sam?
No, that's exactly it. So you have the £10 as that testing amount before Monday. So obviously feel free if there are any bugs that won't make a huge difference before then.
Awesome. One more question, or a couple more. Which markets does Luno have open? I guess one for either of you.
Yeah, so this is open. Well, we're open in over 40 markets, but essentially UK and European Union, with a few others as well. I don't know how far teams are coming from. Notably, yeah, we're not in some Eastern European countries. We're not in the US yet, but EU, UK, and a few other markets. But yeah, that info is also on our website, And if you do want to check, you can also get in touch with me directly. Happy to.
And what cryptocurrencies can they trade, Sam?
So this will be only for Bitcoin, and particularly if you're signing up in the UK, it would just be on the BTC GBP pair, and if you're signing up in Europe, it'll be the BTC Euro pair.
Awesome. Very good. Are there options on Luno? I believe not. Is that correct, Sam?
No.
Cool. Is the same start date for bots and is there the same start date for bots and manual trading? Are these two different challenges? So I can answer that one. It's same start date, Monday the 6th. What I've said to a few people is that if your bot isn't quite doing the execution part by Monday, you can always manual trade to start off with, and then kind of add the bot in later. But yeah, same start date for everyone. Will the slides to the Lunar presentation be posted later? Yes, as will the video. One for Adam. Can I use Python to write my bot?
Absolutely. We have a Python SDK. All the fundamentals stay the same. And our SDK has a full description of all the different methods available for executing orders and interrogating balances and all that good stuff. Yeah, all that information's there. Just look
awesome.
at it.
And last one, what happens if I break the platform? I've caused damage to other crypto exchanges before by accident. So I guess for Adam, how easy is it to break the Luno platform?
I haven't seen anyone do it yet, except for myself. So we'll have to wait and see.
Very good. Awesome. Last one. Is Luno available in Africa? One for Sam.
Yes. One of our first markets actually was South Africa. So we're available in South Africa, Nigeria, and Uganda, as far as I'm aware. So if you're from there, then please do sign up.